Hello everyone. Welcome to our weekly live show. We've been calling it the Well Dressed Weekly Live Show. So today we're going to be talking about closet cash, how we can find some extra treasures inside our closet and be able to resell that. I'm just going to introduce myself really quick because I know we have a lot of new people in the group that joined us for the Style Icon Virtual Fashion Retreat. So I want to just quickly introduce myself that my name is Afton Porter. I am a fashion stylist and life coach based in Phoenix, Arizona, where we coach you to unleash your inner style icon and learn how to show up powerfully in your life. So today we are going to, for the weekly live show, we're going to be talking about finding, we talk a lot about in here in Style Guide Society about how to clean out your closet, make sure the clothes in there that you love to wear, that you have things in there that, are going to make you feel good, that they're the right cut and color so that you're able to really ignite that enclosed cognition and be able to show up super powerful for what you want to do to give you the confidence that you need. But what do you do with the clothes that you have in there that are no longer needed for you? Maybe you don't like them anymore. Maybe they don't fit you quite like they used to. Or maybe you just don't have a need for them. So I've invited one of our Style Guide Society members in here. Her name is Pinky Chong, and she's going to be teaching us how to find those treasures that are in our closet so that we're able to resell them, get some extra cash in our pocket to use however you wish. I'm going to introduce her really quick, and then I'm going to bring her on up so that you guys can meet her. All right. Oh, let me grab my glasses really quick. Okay. So Pinky Chong is a luxury brand authentication and resale specialist, business growth strategist, and founder of the Resale Academy, where she helps entrepreneurs to be profitable and reputable in the luxury reselling business. Pinky's passion for fashion combined with her desire to create a global impact by helping the environment through sustainable fashion motivates her to help other entrepreneurs build a profitable and reputable luxury ReCommerce business. A graduate of the University of the Philippines with a degree in physical therapy, Pinky practiced PT for 30 years and obtained multiple specialized certifications, including a yoga teacher and Pilates instructor. Before her interest in fashion launched her into the luxury resale industry and authentication of iconic designer brands over a decade ago. She has helped thousands of entrepreneurs from making a quick sale to declutter their closets to accelerating their business growth to achieve a six-figure business. Her goal is to continue to help other entrepreneurs build a profitable and reputable luxury ReCommerce business while creating a global impact by helping the environment through sustainable fashion and a circular economy. All right, I'm going to bring Pinky up. Hello, welcome.
Hello, Afton. I'm so happy to be here. This is such an exciting topic.
Yes, I love it. I'm so excited. Now, for those who might not be familiar with ReCommerce or sustainability, will you kind of like educate us a little bit about what that means to you and how much it's needed in the fashion industry right now, just really quickly?
Yeah. So ReCommerce is basically just, another like a more inclusive term of reselling. So it's good for the environment. It's good for our budget because then we can buy stuff and wear it for a while and then resell it to somebody who's gonna enjoy it again, and then that way they can somebody else can enjoy it, and it helps obviously with the environment because a shirt or a handbag or a pair of shoes that don't have to be reproduced again. It can just be resold to another person and they can go on and enjoy it for themselves. So that's basically what re-commerce is.
Yeah, thank you. I know like once I studied, how important it is for the sustainability in the fashion industry. There's a lot of like damage, I guess, in the environment
In the
in
environment,
producing
yes.
fashion, especially high fashion, like fast fashion, and how fast
Yes,
they
yes.
kind of go through that. And so anytime we're able to, you can think of that when you are getting rid of something from your closet that, not only can you bless somebody else with this, but you're also helping, from having to produce more and then have that sit in a landfill.
Yes,
So
yes. Yeah, it can go really deep into the environmental benefits, but you just said it so simply.
but for today, I mean, I know that there are ladies in here that have clothes in their closet. Maybe they have tags still on them that they thought that they might wear, but they haven't yet. And
Uh-huh.
how can they, go about deciding what items is, time to go, which ones can resell well, which ones should, probably, skip the consignment bag.
It's actually pretty simple when we think about just reselling stuff. Anything that we have in our closet and even just around the house, inside and outside the house, practically we can resell anything. So clothes wise, it's probably a good idea to have at least pick the items that are fairly clean, obviously, and then the ones with the tags are obviously a good piece to resell. And so all you have to do is just look in your closet and see what you don't wear anymore, and start your small reselling business maybe as a side hustle. And one thing that I'm really loving about reselling is because, if we're thinking about maybe if we're thinking about starting a business and we don't have any idea of what we want to do, it's a good practice. It's a good practice because if you don't have that reseller mind just yet, we all started as buying something for ourselves and not really thinking about, oh, I'm going to buy this so I can resell it. Back in the days, we just bought stuff, not thinking about, reselling it. So if you think about it, when you start reselling something that you already know, that you already have, it's like starting a business without having to spend another spend some more on another business venture. It's almost like you're starting a business without having to have any capital, and then this would also allow you to kind of have a breathing room for mistakes because um, if you think about it, the things that we already have, especially in our closet, they're kind of free in a way, but not really. But in a way, they're free, so it allows us for mistakes to happen, and for us to actually find out if reselling is something that we might even really venture deeper into. So long
Yeah.
answer, but
I love that though, because we're just going through our closet, finding out what's no longer serving us, and then rehoming them someplace else that's
yes,
actually going to like, give you a little extra cash to be able
yes.
to put towards something else. All right.
And then
So
buy something else that you really like.
yeah, there you go. That you could actually use and love to wear. All
Yes,
right.
yes.
So what are the things that we need to consider? So we've gone through our closet. We know we have like some items
Tons
that
of
we want to sell.
stuff.
Where do we do? How do we start?
One thing about reselling that's also exciting is, you don't even have to have a website. There's there's Poshmark, there's Macari, and there's eBay. So you can start there. You can pick one platform. I know I've used Poshmark a lot. I'm not trying to promote them, but I've used them a lot myself. And the app is really, really very user friendly. Um, Now they've even updated the app to where you can include videos, and then of course the pictures. So there's a few things that I think are really important. There's actually 7 things that I like to consider when listing something online, but we can talk about the 3 top ones for now, and then we'll save the other ones for the next show.
All
so,
right. Sounds
so
good. So top
yeah.
3.
So the first one is photography. We have wonderful phones now, so we don't even have to have like a specialized cameras. The iPhones or the Androids are wonderful. But one of the things that we have to remember when we're trying to take a picture is just they have to be they have to be clear, and you know just the background has to be not to they can't be cluttered, because you want to showcase the item that you want to sell. And again, one of the fun things, I'm laughing in my head because one of the fun things that I've learned reselling is, you can create the background without, having to buy, like an expensive backdrop or something. You can use your door, just, you know, buy one of the hangers that we use for during Christmas, and then you can just hang, the hanger, and then take a picture of your clothes. Um, and if you're trying to sell a pair of shoes or something that can stand alone, my favorite thing to do is use the dining chair, and I'll just park it. Usually at the front door, like behind me, because usually in the afternoon the lighting is perfect. So I'll be outside and I'm taking pictures of shoes or handbags with using the chair as a backdrop.
Okay,
Uh,
so hold on.
those are the things.
So the shirts, you use like a hook that you put like a Christmas wreath on. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, like the
Okay.
hook that you put on the door.
So you hang the hook on the door and then you
Yes,
hang the hanger on the hook.
yes, and then
And
you
you take a
just,
picture that
yeah,
way.
you just drape your, yep.
And then so if if you're selling shoes, you put them on a dining room chair. And then where do you place it by the door?
I usually would go like behind me. I'll go outside the house because around 3 or 4, then the lighting is really great. So you don't want direct lighting. I'm glad you
Okay.
asked. Yes, you don't want like direct lighting, because then there's too much glare and you won't capture the true essence, like the true color of the item,
Okay.
which can cause problems with your
So you
buyers.
so you bring the dining room chair outside with you
Yes,
and then take it with the natural light, but just not
yes,
directly on it.
yes.
Okay. I got you.
And then I say outside, but you can kind of walk around your home and start taking pictures and just see where, the perfect lighting is.
Yeah. So it's kind of like taking a selfie. Like you want
Yes.
natural light coming in, but you don't
Uh,
want it directly on you. You just
yes.
want to like be by a window or something.
Yes.
And then, so do you need to get anything to like remove the background?
There's apps there that you can use, that can remove the background. I've used Lightroom, and you can just, you can just choose the free app. It's called Lightroom, and it can just take the background off of your photo, if you don't want to use a background. So that's
Okay.
a great question.
So either one, either just kind of like make a nice presentation
Hmm.
where the lighting's got good color and everything, or remove the background. Seems like
Yes.
you still want it to like lay nicely, like the shirts, regardless of the background.
Yes, yes. Um, I've u- I've used our floor, and I'll like you said, you just have to kind of make sure it's flat. And then I've taken a picture, and then I felt like I didn't like the bamboo background, so you can just upload it to Lightroom, and it'll take it off.
So
So
I've
either
actually
way,
tried to do that for photos
okay,
for my Instagram, like trying to lay out an outfit. But then if I'm standing over the clothes, you can see my shadow. Is that a lighting problem, or is that like, how do you avoid like my body shadow
okay.
when I'm taking the picture?
I'm glad you asked that because I've had that problem. But like on our phones, we have like the zoom option. So I'll stand like far enough to where I can't see my shadow, and then I'll just zoom in. So
Okay. So you're not directly over then. It's kind of like an angle.
I'm at
Okay.
an angle, and then I'm just kind of playing with my phone to where I don't see my shadow.
Okay. Because that's been my problem. But I was trying to get like a direct
Ah,
aerial of it. I guess
hmm,
that would be the right word. So the
yeah.
photo. But okay. But that still works too. I've never thought about using the zoom either, like
Yeah.
zooming in and then
And one thing also is you can use your chair and kind of elevate yourself, which I do a lot. And
oh,
then
just
you
go up
can kind of,
high.
yeah. And then you can kind
Okay.
of play with your phone so you don't see. And then you can change your angles, to where you don't see your shadow over the photo. So, yeah, I've played around with taking a photo so much.
Is there a perfect time of the day? So you said like 4 in the afternoon is a good time in Texas
Yes,
where you are to take
yeah.
for the
And
natural.
then yeah, and then around this time, you can go as late as like 5:30 or so.
As long as you still have some light and coming in. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that was good. Good, good. Okay. So anything else about the photography? So have a nice clear background. It looks good. And you should just have that item, I'm assuming, in the picture and not have anything else. Or is it okay if
It's
you
it
style it or something?
it's okay to have, other objects, especially if you're trying to, like, for jewelries. You ask such great questions. Like for jewelry, sometimes even if we describe like how big it is and how long it is, um, some of us just can't visualize it. And so it's great to kind of put something next to it, like maybe a coin or something, like a quarter of a dime, so you can kind of give your buyer some kind of reference for the size.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's good
or
for
you
jewelry.
can put it on yourself if,
Yeah.
and then you can put your face or not put your face, or just put it on you maybe, just for reference. I use, and for handbags, and usually for handbags, I usually would model it myself, just because it helps with visualization for your buyers, because then it prevents them from receiving it and then saying, oh, I didn't realize, because I see this a lot, I didn't realize it was that big. And you're thinking, but I put 10 feet in my measurements. I'm exaggerating, of course, but
Yeah.
it if you can model something, it would be a great way to show your buyers how it actually looks on you, and it gives them just a better visualization of how it looks.
Yeah, that's a great idea because I'm gonna imagine with especially handbags, like whether they're this small or oversized, they can maybe have the same structure. And so wearing it,
Yes.
and if you say you're 5, whatever,
Yeah,
then that would let them know, okay.
I'm barely 5. And then I usually have to qualify to, like, okay, I'm not 5'10".
Yeah.
It might look different on you than on me.
Yeah. So that they're aware that you're smaller. So if it looks big.
But just, use photography so you can present your items better. And if there's any imperfections, make sure that you take pictures of it. It helps prevent like returns and all that. So good photography really helps with just the smoothness of the transaction.
Okay. Awesome. What else do we need to know?
Photography, so you can edit the background using Lightroom, natural light. What else? Making sure you include imperfections on your item. If there's like a small stain or a little pull, make sure you include it on there.
All right. And if you ladies have any questions, be sure to put them in the comments as well. And at the end, maybe we'll have time to answer those for you.
Absolutely.
All right. So photography, anything else with that?
I think that's the basic ones. And then we can always answer any questions if they have any questions.
All right. So what's the next thing?
Next thing would be, I think we touch on it just a little bit on the description. Make sure you include measurements and any imperfections about the item. Just so again, it's telling your buyer. So you're using photography and description to make sure you're describing your item as much as possible. And again, this will prevent with future problems of your buyer saying, "Oh, but you didn't say this," and it just helps for a no return transaction, which is such a headache.
Yeah. Okay. So what was I going to say about that? Do you need to like include where you purchased it from or how much you paid for it?
Not necessarily. I know on Poshmark there's an option for you to include, the retail on it. If it's priced, if it's priced more on for retail, maybe include it just to kind of add value to it. You can put paid $50 or $100, selling for this much.
Okay.
And that would just help with adding value to it, because we all want a bargain, or I do.
Knowing like how much you could have paid for,
Yes.
full retail price, and then how much of a deal you're getting by buying it gently used or. Yeah. Okay. So description. Anything else with the describing it? So size, impurities, or any kind of damage that may have happened to it.
Yeah. And if you want to be creative, then you can add something to the effect of how that one item is gonna solve their problem. You can say something like, if say you're bundling your son's or your daughter's old shirts, for example, and you're using it as a bundle, then you can describe it as, this will help, you from cringing every time your son or your daughter roll around in the dirt, because you're getting such a great price for 10 pieces of, t-shirts or tops.
So that's a good question. Should you bundle items as much as when you can, if you have 5 or 10 things that you're selling?
Yeah, I think so, because again, it creates more value. Say, even a $20-$30 tops. If you bundle it, then it just creates more value. So you can say, 5 tops at a retail of say $150, and you're getting it for $50. So I think that creates value to it. And then you can say something like, and that's not even including tax and shipping. If you buy it, if you buy it off the website.
You know what that? Okay, so I'll just tell you guys an interesting story. So, I coach. Phoenix Fashion Week will have me come in and coach some of their designers, and I help with their boot camps. Well, one of the educators was sharing a story how on eBay someone went and just bought like $100 worth of things at Goodwill. Then they went and resold it on eBay and wrote little stories about each of these pieces. I can't remember. I think the person who, bought these items, resold them on eBay, made up these little stories, and even said on the bottom, these stories are made up or whatever, was able to, I think they made like $1,700.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it was really $100. It really could have been $10. It was like super cheap. And then resold them by selling the story.
Yeah, I mean it happens, and that's why I like to do that too. And the way I like to describe the items is, again, the stories about kind of like the vision of what can happen if they buy the product. It's
Yeah.
like a box of toys. You can say, instead of maybe the eBay seller was saying a story about how it's been played with by
Yeah, it was like a
killer
paperweight.
somewhere. Yeah, but
Story about a
yes.
paperweight.
But another way to do it too is if you can give the buyer the vision of, oh, if you'll buy this box of toys, imagine the joy of your child. If they can just play with it outside without having to think about it's going to get ruined or something, or an extra play set. If you give this to grandma, then imagine the memories that they can share with their grandchildren when they come to visit. So kind of give the vision of what the product can do for them.
Yeah, I love that. So
Yeah.
yeah, the vision of what they can do.
Yeah.
Love that.
And
Okay.
like, I'm glad you said that, because like, when I love just a simple white shirt, and so one of the things that you can add to your listings um, is take ideas from Pinterest on how to wear the different ways of wearing just a plain white shirt. And of course, I always try to emphasize, when you use pictures from sources like Pinterest, make sure you recognize who the source is, just to kind of give recognition of where the ideas are coming from. But I like
Mm-hmm.
to do that too, like, make a collage of, like, you can use Canva, or you can just, I don't know, use other apps that you can kind of make a collage of. So you have the plain white shirt and all the ideas of how you can wear it.
Yeah,
And
that's actually a really good idea.
then you
So
can
when
sell
they're
it for more.
shopping, well, and it'll even stop them. Like if
Yeah.
you're teaching them something while they're scrolling, maybe that will stop them and think a little bit more about that shirt.
Yeah, instead of just, plain white shirt that looks
Yeah,
just like the others.
right, right.
Oh, and one thing about photography too that I just remembered, it's staging. So one thing I've learned is not to wear anything that I don't plan to sell.
Oh, okay.
So if you say, or if your say if it's called a flat lay. Say you're trying to sell a pair of jeans, and the way you can do that is if you can, put a pair of jeans in the top and maybe a handbag and um, a pair of shoes or heels or sneakers or what have you. Um, if you can kind of stage them together, but make sure that just to maximize, I guess, your selling ability. Um, Make sure that everything that's on the picture is also something that you're planning to sell, and that way it'll create like a bundle deal as well, and it will also let your buyer know that, oh, okay, I really like how all that looks like. Maybe I want to buy all of them. So it's a win-win for you and the buyer.
Yeah, that would be like a lucky unicorn, though, right? To have the
Yeah.
shirt, the pants, and the shoes all be the
Yes.
side.
But
But
just an idea. You'll never know. You'll never
I
know.
love the idea,
Yeah.
though, because then you could just use the picture again, even if you don't sell it to the same person,
Yes.
and you've styled it for even the one. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
styled it so that they have an idea. Like you said, they can envision actually wearing
Yeah.
that item, and as soon as they do that, you've got them. Then they'll buy.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then, was there anything else on the description you wanted to cover?
That would be for now. I'm sure we'll think of something else later on.
All right.
There's so much. There's so much.
So number 3 was pricing, right?
Yes, pricing.
Right. So how do we figure out how do we figure out price?
Try not to devalue your item, and always think about including shipping with it. And I usually try to include shipping with tracking, which is a little bit more expensive than just shipping without tracking. And I like to do that just because it gives your buyer the peace of mind, especially if they've never bought anything from you, and that way they can track. And also for you as a seller, so you can say, oh, by the way, it was delivered yesterday. Did you receive it? And and for the buyer as well, they can have the peace of mind and track it and say, okay, it's gonna be there by tomorrow or the next day. So a peace of mind for the buyer and the seller. Um, and pricing, you can just, you pretty much have an idea of what you paid for your own items, especially if you're just starting off. So, if it's new with tags, then you can either price it like it is and just tell the buyer it's $25 retail, but I'm not including taxes, so you still save on taxes and shipping if you're buying from a website that charges shipping. So approximate, kind of give them the approximate value of what they're saving. So $25, say 10%, and then there's shipping. So roughly about there, even if they buy it at what you're at the retail price that you bought it for, they're still saving about $10, because they're technically not paying for tax or shipping. So it depends on what your item is. I would say what the value of what you paid it for, and if it's a used item, I would say more than half, more than 50%. That way um, there's leeway for you to include the shipping, because you're still going to have to pay for the shipping, and then also it allows you to give the buyer a little of a discount if they try to negotiate. So, but don't just give it away, because you still have to pay all the fees like shipping, and if you're using PayPal, you're still having to pay. Now it's up to like 3 point something instead of 3%. So You
Oh,
have to
okay.
include all those things.
So like the PayPal fees, you're saying.
Yes, yes.
Is PayPal the best? I guess you have to use whatever the platform is using. Is
Yeah, yeah.
that how it
For
works?
yes. So if you're selling on your own, like on Facebook Marketplace, and PayPal would be the
Okay.
safest, just because it protects you as a seller, and then it protects the buyer as a seller, as a buyer. But like you said, different platforms have, different shipping methods, and that's another thing too. If you're gonna sell in different platforms, make sure um, make sure you sell only through the platforms to prevent scammers from scamming you. Because
Oh, yes. You got to protect us.
yes,
Okay.
because
So,
the platform will protect you, and there's always going to be, a constant flow of, hey, you know, and unfortunately, some sellers fall for that, because you'll get emails like, hey, I really like your product, and I really need it, and I'll pay you, more than what you have it listed for. Can you email me or whatever? So yeah,
gotcha.
that's just their way of getting you. So whatever platform you're in, sell it to the platform.
All right. Okay. So when I figure out like how much a designer is going to sell an item, like there's like a retail math formula. So for resale, the resale math formula, you're saying it's about 50%
I would say
plus
about
shipping.
yeah, and again, there's a whole science behind reselling, because then when you really want to go deep into it, there's certain items that are really wanted out there. So you can't really just say, you bought it for this much, and so you're gonna sell it for half the price, because you know like I'm not a thrifter per se, but I've seen and I've watched like thrifters uh, find amazing items, and they can flip that $1 to like $90.
Yeah, and especially if you're finding like antique, like they know what they're looking for, but we're just talking about like
Yeah,
looking in our closet.
yeah,
We're just shopping from our closet. We're not going to get
yes,
all
yes,
of that
yes, yeah,
shopping right now.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's the beauty of it, because like I said before, we know what we bought, the stuff that we have in our closet for. So, if it's new with tags, stay as close as you can to how much you paid for it.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's new, about what you paid for it. If it's gently used, 50% plus shipping. Okay. So we post it. How long do we lower the price if it doesn't sell? Or do we not? Do we just leave it at that price until it actually sells?
On on different platforms, like on Poshmark, they do kind of encourage you to offer a discount to kind of gain some interest, and that's why it's good to kind of price it a little bit more, so you can offer that discount, and then it encourages a sale.
Okay. So when we price it at 50%, we put it on Poshmark, they're saying, "Hey, have you thought about offering it a little bit less?" Then we go ahead and do that. And then how do you know how much to discount it for the sale on Poshmark? Do they recommend like
I think
10%?
it's like 10%. Yeah, 10%
Okay.
on Poshmark. Yeah. So
Okay.
if you're gonna sell it on a platform, I would say price it even a little bit more. It's really it usually comes back to how much you're willing to let go of your items. Um, so you can price it just however makes you feel good. I know that's not a good answer, but that way you can lower it as you want to.
Okay. Yeah. Because we want to sell it to get the most amount of money possible
Yes, yeah,
with the resale. So
yes,
that's what you're teaching us, right? Like
yes.
50%. And then but how long would you let a shirt stay on Poshmark or any platform before you say, okay, I need to lower, I want to sell this? How long?
Again, it goes back to you. I mean, if you want to sell it quickly, then give them a good bargain so you can get rid of it right away. But if you don't really have any timeline to kind of get rid of it, if it's just something, if you still have, if you have a big closet that you're still wanting to fill up, and you're not in a rush to empty it out, and so you can leave it there as long as you want to. But if you want to just go ahead and get rid of it, then you can even start with a low price and get the interest right away. So it all depends on how fast you want to get rid of it.
Yeah. So if it has to sit there for a month or two, it doesn't mess with the algorithm on the platform. It'll sit there and people will still be shown it and see it as they search. Or do shoppers look and say, huh, that shirt's been on here for 2 months? Does it show how long it's been there, and does that turn them off, or they don't care?
There's different buyers out there. There's buyers that that might be looking for that specific shirt, and they don't really care. It's been there for a long time, or they don't care if how much higher it's priced. But if that's what they're looking for, then they're going to buy it. So it's all about who's looking for it. And then one thing good about, I'm not sure if Macari is the same way, but one thing good about Poshmark is now they're searchable. Like, buyers don't have to be a Poshmark user. You can just search for the item online, and if it's on Poshmark, it'll be a searchable item.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
It'll just show up in Google search.
Yes. Yes. And so going back going back to the description, um, one of the things that, for especially for Poshmark, when you're listing your item, start with the brand, and then um, what kind is it, and then you can include the color, and then the style. So, like for a top, you can do, what kind of top are we talking about? Give me a brand.
Your
H&M.
pink shirt that you've got on.
Um, I think this is like, what is it? ASOS.
Okay.
And so you're gonna go ASOS. I think this is more like I'm looking at it. It looks pink, but this is more like more like an orange one. So you're gonna put a ASOS um, blouse, orange, and then you can say it again as a top, and then describe it as a. I'm trying to think.
Is it long sleeve?
Yeah, like just a short sleeve, a
Short
small.
sleeve?
So
Crew.
yeah.
Oh, Rochelle says, or Rachel, is it Rochelle? Rachel. Rachel says it looks coral to her.
Yes, thank you.
Looks like
I,
salmon to me,
yes,
but
it is coral, because I'm using a hand-me-down laptop for my kids, and the picture is horrible.
yep, that's all right. Those laptop cameras are not good color things.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so put everything that would basically be on it on a tag. So you have a
Yes.
size, you have the description of the shirt,
Yeah.
you have if it's a special cut, like especially like your jeans, they want to know probably
Yes, yes. For jeans, if
the
it's boot
cut
cut, straight, so you want to
and
put
seam.
that on there, yeah.
Yeah,
And then the measurements you can just put in the description, but on the title, you put the brand, you put the style, the color, um, and kind of include as much as you can on the title, and that would allow for more interest when they search it. But definitely put the brand, yeah, definitely put the
so as
brand.
they're searching on Google, so that you
Yeah.
can get more.
So it's kind of like, think about when you're searching for something, you know. So you're gonna put the brand, just the way that you're searching for something if you're shopping for yourself. So that's kind of how you want to do your titles.
Okay, that's really good to know. Rachel's asking for measurements. Do you put the full numbers like in sizing charts? So Rachel, do you mean like 10, 11? Well, there's no 12, 11, but 10, 12, like that? Maybe you know what she means. Do you know what she means? Full measurements, do you put in full numbers like in sizing chart? Oh, like bust, maybe waist, 94 inches.
I do, because, like, say for example, jeans, it can be a size 24, but then the waist is not really 24. So it's always better to put the measurements in the description.
Of the
And
actual garment
of
that you
yes. So it can be like, say for the jeans, it's size 24, but then in your description you're gonna put all the measurements, like the waist and then the inseam and then the length. And you can even go as far as, you know, putting the measuring tape on top of, like, the clothing that you're taking a picture of. And that way you'll be like approved, like, here it is. I didn't make it up.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So Rachel says brands are not always consistent. Isn't that the truth? There could be
Yep.
like the same cut, but it's like 8 or 12. It's not the true size. So
Yeah.
yeah. So that's helpful. And then
Yeah.
if someone thinks they're buying a size 10 and it ends up being a size 12,
Hmm.
it's not going to fit.
Yeah. And that also again goes back to helping with the return, so your buyers are aware that, okay, this might be this size, but these are the measurements.
Okay, so how do you handle returns? Do you allow them to return?
Luckily, I haven't really had, I mean, even in my, knock on wood, even in my, like, over 10 years of selling, I can count, I mean, I can't even remember if I've had any returns. And if there's any, it's usually like I hate to say this, but they are crazy buyers out there. Like, I remember selling a Louis Vuitton wallet, and in the DM she was like, "Oh, I got my wallet and I love it and can't wait to use it." And then she even posted in this Facebook group, for designer brands, how she got the wallet and she's so happy and all that stuff. And a few hours later, she DMs me. She goes, "I have to return this because it smells horrible. Um, I'm allergic to smoke, and it's making the whole room smell like smoke." And I'm thinking I'm allergic to smoke, and I don't remember. I don't remember it smelling like that. So there's such thing as buyer's remorse, unfortunately. But that's why we discuss the three things about listing, because that really helps with the return. If you can take good pictures and give good description, and also I know it requires a little bit more time, but if we just you know make an effort to make a few exchanges with the buyers, that gut feeling of, I don't really want to sell to you, or yeah, I think I'm comfortable about selling to this individual. So um, make an effort to carry up, even if it's just a brief exchanges of conversation with your buyer, um, to kind of just get to know them and have a feel of how they are, because you'll know. But yeah, just make sure you do the photos clearly, and then the description, and then whenever you send it out, um, make sure you have tracking. And now we're gonna add one more uh, to to the important thing of reselling, shipping. Make sure you pack it nicely. If it's especially with clothing, um, if you can iron it and fold it nicely, and then package it. I use like those Ziploc things to put the clothing inside, and then just package it nicely, so when they get it, I mean, it kind of helps with, again, it goes back to helping the return. When your buyer is happy with the packing, some of them can be picky, so so just pack it nicely.
It's like a
Prepare your
present if used,
Yes, yes.
and
And
especially if
then
they're paying. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
good. And I think that's another thing too. I'm glad you brought that up. It's like, creating this concert experience of, you don't have to, you know, go too far. Just sometimes I'll run out of thank you cards, and I'll just cut like typing paper and fold it and just, scribble like a thank you note. Just little things that helps your buyer kind of feel special, and it really helps with decreasing returns.
Awesome. Hey, I thought a quick question. You mentioned it's smelling like smoke. So should you say if it's coming from a smoke-free home, or if there is smoke or pets, do you need to say whether it's cats or dogs or anything like that?
Um, you can usually mention, coming from a smoke-free home. Yeah, I think
Or a pet-free home?
yeah, yes, I'm glad you brought that up, because yes, that's something that you can include in your description, in your listing description.
Well, this has been so great, Pinky. I feel like it's been almost an hour, so we probably need to be wrapping this up. I'm sure we could talk about this for a whole other
I know,
hour.
for a long time. Yeah.
But there is so many great things that we learned about, how to sell those clothes that we are no longer needing in our closet. Not only does it clear it out and make more room for other things, or just,
Yes.
you know, open up some breathing room, but that's like
Yes.
prime real estate in your closet. And we don't want anything in there that you no
Yes.
longer need or use. How can they learn more from you?
They can just DM me and we can have a quick chat. And that I have a new Facebook group that you can join, and you can DM me if you need more information on that. And thank you again for letting me be here. It was so fun to be talking about it. And like you said, our closet is a real state of cash. And also, you know, I've been listening to you, and it helps with, having those really important and nicer staple pieces, because you talk about, styling, and I really enjoy listening to you. So yeah, it what you do just makes more sense. And so I'm just so glad to be here.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed learning from you today. And you guys, Pinky is in the Style Guide Society, so you can just find her inside the group and send her a DM. And if you want to learn more about selling your items out of your house to make the most money possible, then she is your girl. All right. I hope you guys had a wonderful evening today at the Well Dressed weekly show. We'll be going live next week. We actually have a photographer coming in here next week to show us some natural poses. So she's awesome too. So good stuff coming our way inside the Style Guide Society. Love you guys. Have a good night. Thanks again, Pinky.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Afton. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.